1, 2, 3. Cocks don't pop it all, poppycock, cocks do poppy by 4. And that's why all the folks on poppycock keep poppycocks in a jar. But once I met a girl on poppycock back in the poppycock hills, they won't let me back on poppycock, reckon they never will. Well, poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old poppycock, poppycock, you and me, Rose and Bobby. The earth don't spin at all on poppycock, flatter than a hot roadkill. The beer don't stick to balls on poppycock, reckon it never will. Once I met two folks on poppycock, one bald, the other likes cats. She wild as a rose and quicker than a satellite, no poppycock about that. Poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old poppycock, poppycock, you and me, Rose and Bobby. Take it, Trey. Sheep don't like to block on poppycock, ain't no poppycock pins. You might just find yourself on poppycock, waking with a poppycock kin. And poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old poppycock, poppycock, you and me, Rose and Bobby. Why so freaking early? Poppycock, you and me.
No poppycock blocking. Hey, good morning, guys and gals and kids and poppy culture. The poppy kids. And if you
Poppy,
pardon, poppy. What? If you haven't noticed, that is not the dulcet tones of our friend Rose 777. This is Karen B, the lovely and talented Karen B. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, Karen.
thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here. Sorry that Rose is not feeling well. Everybody send Rose positive healing vibes.
Healing vibes, yeah. It's a combination of a whole bunch of stuff. We won't get into that, but we are delighted to be here with you, and I'm sure that Rose will be back soon. I had offered that we just kind of take some time off till after the first of the year. She's like, the poppycock must go on. So here we are. There's so much poppycock. We have to do that. Let's see. What do we got here? I don't know if I want to do it this way. I'm going to anyway. Let's see. I'll do that like that and like that for now. All right. And then I'll get rid of that so you can see this. All right. So we'll get right into the poppycock. I have some other comments to make a little bit later, but we'll get right into a bit of poppycock this morning, get all that out of the way. For those of our friends in the UK, Britain's supercharged mutant coronavirus expected to go global. How many problems do you see with that headline right there, Karen?
Multiple
levels. Yes. Poppycock. Of course.
globe, and there's no coronavirus to begin with.
Exactly. And they might as well just put the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus in there because that is nonsensical. We have, there's some other good stuff here. I'll just jump Florida man right up to the front today, get that out of the way. Florida man who slept through 3 green lights, arrested for DUI. I love it when they fall asleep at the green lights. They do that. Yeah, I'd like to hear from just kind of go back. I'd like to hear from some of our folks in the UK and see what is going on firsthand on the ground there. We know it's getting deeper. It's getting deeper here in the US as it is. I have lost contact with a couple of my friends in Australia, and that deeply concerns me. So I want to see what is happening around the plane, because it is Well, it's deeply concerning, and as we've been monitoring the situation, it certainly does seem again that they are not pulling back. They're pedal to the metal, going as hard as they can, and so it is both with some trepidation and excitement that I view these events, because trepidation, it's going to get ugly. Excitement, I've read the book, I know how it ends. Here we got this one. Those of you who have spent any time on social media whatsoever, including our friends here at, I guess YouTube counts as anti-social media, perhaps. They're big on censorship, of course. They like to shut down anything that they think goes against their narrative. And unfortunately, True Seeker 69 lost her channel right in the middle of a stream, apparently, yesterday on the YouTubes. Sad to hear that. Hopefully that will get resolved, but can't be certain of that. But here we have Google and Facebook reportedly agreed to help each other out against potential antitrust action, which is the very definition. Collusion.
So what, are they going to merge and become an even bigger conglomerate?
I don't even know that that's necessary. They all report to the same folks. It is all military industrial complex. I mean, for those who aren't aware, Facebook began the day after a 4-year program from the CIA called what was it, Life? What was it called? Life Track or something like that. Somebody in the chat could probably tell us. But yeah, it was a way to track people based on their connections and who they who they connect with, and so let's see, I won't have a heart attack now. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, conspiracy. But yeah, it was called was it Life Track or something like that. And so they decided to pull the plug on it, and then the very next day Facebook started, which did everything that the CIA program was designed to do. So nothing to see here, as well as the fact that Google changed its name to Alphabet, and of course the Alphabet agencies has long been the term that we use for all the acronym agencies in the military-industrial complex, from the CIA to the NSA, NCIS, and all those lovely groups.
Oh, wait. Google changed its name to Alphabet?
Mm-hmm.
Like the actual company name is now Alphabet?
That is correct. Several years ago, about 4 years ago, I think, the overarching silo company is called Alphabet.
Oh.
Nothing to see here, right?
Yeah, shocking.
As well as the fact that their video driver is called Adreno, and of course their but their web browser is called Chrome. So put that together, and you got what? Adrenochrome? What?
Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
I've been trying to slowly get off of Google. Like, I started using a Proton Mail email address, and I downloaded that Brave browser, and I got to transfer everything over to I'm going to try to start using Brave. I'm really trying to get off of Google shit.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Although, my take on it at this point is, knowing what I know, it's all compromised. There's nothing really that can be done to stop them from collecting the data, because everything's compromised at a hardware level. Doesn't matter if you wrote your own browser, had your own servers and did everything yourself. Everything's compromised at the hardware level. They're still going to get it. I don't know. I am irritated at the megalithic sort of control that Google has over everything, and they can just shut you down at a moment's notice and do whatever they want. I tend to just sort of from the beginning, and I have done for more than 25 years, just behaved as though I didn't know. So I just because what I determined early on, especially having done some work for these folks, is that anything that you do to try to hide your activity only raises the red flag, right? It's what we would now call the Streisand effect, right? Any attempt to cover something up only draws attention to it. And I love that it's called the Streisand effect.
Yeah, I did start using I don't know. just makes me feel better to use some. But you know, the other thing too with Google email, the Gmail, is I've had numerous occasions where I was literally on the phone with somebody telling them what my email was, and they're sending it to me and it would not show up. I mean, literally multiple times.
Oh, what? I think I've lost you for a moment. Let's see. It looks like I still have a solid connection. Yes. So, Karen, I seem to have lost you momentarily. Don't know why. But to that end, I guess Google did not like what you were saying. In the intervening moments, while we hope to get Karen back, I will say that those of you who have sent emails to me in the last week or so, if I haven't responded, you might want to try again. I got, there was a whole big Google outage for a number of days that affected a lot of things. But the odd part is that, here we go. Welcome back.
Those bastards.
I know, right? All right. But I was just finishing up saying that the only one of my accounts that was affected was the unintended consequences account. None of the others were affected, but I did have numerous emails that I sent bounce back, others that did not come in until later that were time-stamped much previous. It was very weird. Okay, so you were telling us about how you have it makes you feel better to give them the big middle finger.
Did you not even hear where I was saying that Gmail literally blocks emails from people for me?
No, you said that you were on the phone with them.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to get away from Gmail, was because they literally block emails from other people sent. Like, I've been on the phone with people telling them what my email is, and they're like, yes, I have it spelled right, because I wasn't getting the email, and then they send it. They're like, okay, it's sent, and it never shows up, Yep. And that's happened to me multiple times. So that was my number one reason from getting away for Gmail, because they can filter your email and just not put your email through that you need to get.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they do a variety of things, of course, tracking everything. And now they're not shy about telling you, right? They'll send me an email saying, oh, here's where you've been in the last month. I'm like, yeah, thanks for telling me that. I know where I was, but I'm glad to know that you're telling me that you know where I was. Right. And but they'll pull stuff out of my email. If you just go, oh, I think I hesitate to do this because it'll show up, I think, and it'll indicate things that I don't really want to show, but I'll delete it really quickly. If you put in bills, that's the bills. Okay. It also had happened before. It would actually pull up my bills, like my utilities and stuff like that. It would just pull them up. I'm like, what the hell? Maybe they stopped doing that now, but I did notice that it had been kind of going around. So it's a strange thing. Of course, we all know that they're watching everything that we do, and not just your personal accounts, right? It's all connected, and that's why there is so much data going everywhere, because it's all combined in real time. So everything from traffic cameras, right, to purchases, everything is tracked and done in real time. And beyond that, there are at least a dozen, probably many, many more than that, of you existing as a sim in these mainframe computers, and they run simulations constantly. And this is what I see with many of these news articles that we see. I know for a fact, I say for a fact, and I'll talk about this again later. My instincts not only tell me, but it's pretty demonstrable that some of these stories are just made up just to see what the reactions are, to see what people do, because you can kind of track it and follow along. You'll see more of the same kind. Oh dear, we lost Karen again. Karen, what's happening?
I don't know. They don't like me talking shit, I guess.
I know, it's so weird. And the other weird thing about you in this stream is that the first time that you joined me, not yesterday, but previous to that, some weird thing happened, and we had more views on that. It was on my channel. I had more views on that than I've had on. It was like, I don't know, 7,500 views or something like that on that one stream. It was like, what happened? No idea.
That's curious.
I've no idea what happened. I guess you just you bring all the boys to the yard with that. Oh dear. But yeah, we I know that we all kind of have a gripe against these guys, and it is all locked together, right? So it is all serving a purpose. They really don't waste a lot of effort and energy, even though they spend a good deal of energy trying to make it look as though it just sort of naturally occurs. But that's not the case, right? It's all scripted. So they run numerous of these simulations constantly in real-time simulations to see how people will respond, and they've got a copy of you, right? Multiple copies of you that they can adjust things and say, hey, what would happen if we took all their money away? What would happen if we gave them, say, $600?
Yeah.
Right? What would they do with that? And what occurs is, again, many of these things, as I've watched, are not. I mean, again, their predictions are, according to the NSA, and this is their numbers, 99.4% accurate. That's the last one I saw. And if they're saying 99.4, that means it's considerably better than that in terms of within a 21-day span. Where someone will be, what they'll be doing at any time of the day or night. You are not nearly as spontaneous as you might imagine, because people just have a kind of their own algorithms, right? Their own rhythms that they go through.
We are
But
creatures of habit.
we are, and we also everyone. And myself included, although I do take mindful steps to try not to be, but we have this myopic blind spot. We just cannot really see ourselves clearly, which is part of the great thing about relationship is that it's good to have those be in relationship with those whom you trust, that care about you, who can give you positive and sometimes critical feedback on your behaviors and how what you're doing is being interpreted. It's important, but we none of us can see ourselves clearly. There's always that distortion there. And according to scripture, all the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes. We all justify everything we do as being perfectly cool, but beyond that, again, we imagine that we are spontaneous and self-driven and free will, and we were I do believe that we were given free will and we have the option to choose, but so many people have abdicated their will to government, media, right, the powers that be, because they've been programmed and they simply respond. And this is what we see, I think, with this large number of people who are, they report they have no internal dialogue, right? They have no. I can't even imagine, but from what I read, everything that I've seen on it, they are simply just constantly in reactive mode. They simply react to what's around them. None of it's thoughtful.
I wonder if this isn't a result of their eugenics program that they've basically been running on this population for years with vaccines. I mean, I don't know if I should say that. I already did. Sorry.
Sorry, Rose, we're on your channel. It's on my channel too, so we got that going.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just talking out of my ass. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what I mean.
Right. This is for entertainment purposes only. How about that?
But you know what I mean? Like with the increased rates of autism and people landing, being on the spectrum, so to speak. And what does that affect? It affects, for most people, like their social interaction. They don't, you know what I mean? So why wouldn't that also affect your internal
absolutely
stuff too? Because that's your social interaction with yourself is your internal dialogue.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that. And I think that much of what we see as well in terms of, gender dysphoria and confusion in that regard is a result of them, gay frogs. No, go Alex Jones on you. But no, I think that that the combination of the chemical and electromagnetic soup that we live in, again, I've been working with the electromagnetic waves since I was like 14 years old, right? I've done it primarily professionally my entire life, working with wave propagation, both physical and electromagnetic. And I can tell you, it was shocking to me in my early 20s to see how harmful even the smallest amount of electromagnetic wave is to living organisms. It's really, really bad. And at the time, I was just shocked that they had introduced this into the environment at the level that they did without ever, at the time I was thinking without ever testing or thinking it through. Oh, I don't. And now I understand. It's not that they didn't think about it. It's done with intention.
Yeah. They
right?
know exactly what they're doing.
They know exactly what
They have known exactly what they're doing for many, 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 many years.
Yes, they have.
No.
Many generations. The more I look at it, all of it is very well designed, and this is in part what I think leads me to the preponderance of evidence that those who are driving the ship are not human in the way that we think. It is too well organized. It's too well thought out. It is understands far more than what even quote modern science tells us, but it also is consistent and contiguous. So people just don't behave that way. They are short-sighted. They work for themselves. Even those who might think to leave a legacy to their children or grandchildren, they don't behave in a way that allows it to continue uninterrupted, right, over many generations. It's just not how it works. People don't behave that way. And so it does, again, indicate that those entities that we're dealing with are not, we would consider them, I guess, immortal by our terms, right? Probably many tens and even hundreds of thousands of years old. And so, and with very high intellect. So, and, also unseen to us mostly, right? So they have a lot of advantages, but they are also, I think, disadvantaged in that we are, a knockoff of the creator. We are given that divine spark and also the ability to create life that don't have.
That's what people need to realize. All the planning, all the thousands of years of conniving, tricking, lying, deceiving, all the things that they've set up. Why do you think they have to go to so much trouble to trick us? Because we fucking rock and we kick ass. And once you guys realize it, these motherfuckers don't stand a chance.
No, they're afraid of us. That's the thing, is that they hate us. That's for sure. But they're afraid of us. They fear what we
should.
Well, yeah, they should, as well. They should, and all the lying. Again, could they just squish us out? Yeah, probably. But that's not the point, right? They need that choice, and without getting too deep into that aspect. Although, again, I think anybody who looks at this for more than just a little bit realize that this is a spiritual battle. It's not a physical battle. It is a spiritual battle, and that's the tail of the tape, right? That's the winning to them. That is the win, is when you choose, right? So. It's not that they forcibly do it, although they're not above doing that when necessary. But they only really, quote, win when you choose. Right. That's the whole thing, is your choice. So that's why all the hoops that are made to jump through, and we're looking at it the wrong way. That's what Kevin B says. Give us your wisdom, Kevin. Tell us how we should be looking at it, because I think that we seem to be making great strides when we observe this in the way that we are. And again, I'll take it. Everybody's just doing the best they can. Okay.
Everybody's just doing the best they can. Okay.
Okay. I guess that's one way to look at it. I see it differently, right? I think most people are trying to do the best they can. Most people do want to just be left alone to live. But that's not the world that we live in. There are others who have agendas, right? And so we're
trying to figure out how to go Super Saiyan on people.
I laugh because I know the reference, but I don't really, because that anime and gaming, I don't know.
I'm not into anime either, but I know what Super Saiyan means.
Okay. Again, I know enough to laugh because I kind of know, but anyway, so let's, I guess I'm going to drop this in here, right? This is probably as good a place as any to do it. I'll have to admit, and I wanted to spend just some time this morning saying thank you to all the lovely people, not only in chat today, but who are with us constantly. And your kind words and encouragement, words of affirmation and approbation are so well received. And I got to tell you, it's not that we don't do this for the strokes, right? Or to go, oh, they love us, right? We do this because we care. And at times we just can't keep our mouth shut, right? It becomes so overwhelming. You got I got to do something. I got to talk. And again, I began my channel specifically for the purpose of trying to help build the community, because I saw so many people who are alone and isolated and ostracized, and that's how they want us to be, right? They separate us so that we feel alone, and they try to make us think that we're crazy. And to that end, I have been super appreciative, but then I also see things that really, man, last couple of days, and I will have to say, specifically yesterday, I was really, really pretty disappointed in people. I don't know how much to go. I was very tempted to start naming names today and saying these people suck. Because there are those, we expect it from outside the community. We know that when we take a different point of view, especially that runs contrary to the mainstream narrative that so many people have bought into, and we see their reaction. You shut up and wear the mask, right? They think they virtue signal by being a victim. And, I can point that out specifically by showing something like this. This mom influencer went super viral for alleging her kids were almost kidnapped inside a store. It's a lie. Right? She just wanted she wanted the attention. It's the same reason that people do, they fake attacks on themselves. Juicy, smell it. Right? This is why they do it, because we have glorified victimization. And so these again, we expect this kind of opprobrium from the world, and especially those that control it, with these kind of lies. Right-wing embrace of conspiracy is mass radicalization, and so they put everything together. Oh, right-wing bad. I'm not right-wing. I just give them the bird, right? I'm not part of that left-wing right-wing bird. But here we go, this baseless claims, right? So we see these baseless claims. It's a word that they love, and every time you see that, then you know that there is actually evidence against them, and they're just trying to dismiss it, right? Conspiracy minded, right? They throw the stuff up all the time.
Conspiracy minded,
right? But then you get those within our community. Well, again, let me back up for a moment and say, again, one of the reasons that we do this show, the Poppycock Report, is again to demonstrate how they lie to us, and we just laugh at them, right? They're poking us in the eye. We're just going to poke right back. We know your game. We know it's a magic trick. It's stage magic. It's nonsense. And so we can poke fun at it, but also to demonstrate how we approach these things. And there is a way that we approach this, and you can begin with experience to tear these things down pretty quickly, and to get a sense of what is legitimate, what is not, and the way that they do it. And again, as you get more experience with something, and over time, you can kind of shoot from the hip. Now, you take risks when you do that, because without all the information, you're going to make mistakes. Right. I mean, you're not going to be right 100% of the time for sure. Anyway. Right. But your accuracy level kind of goes down a little bit when you're just sort of shooting from the hip, and go trusting your feelings. Now, the reason that you can do that is because you've got enough experience, and you do it over time. Just like, with cooking, I don't ever follow recipes because I've got plenty of experience and I know what to do. And a recipe just sort of slows me down. Usually they're not as good as what I can do.
Resemble that 100%.
Right. And so as you get better at it, right, you know what to do, what's going on. But I wouldn't recommend it for a beginner, right? Because they would burn everything, and it would be bad. And so people often get into so again, we demonstrate this stuff to show how we approach it and the way that we look at these things and kind of what we're looking for. And many of these things that we just call poppycock, right? We just say, hey, poppycock, because we just know it, right? It just kind of tweaks our things, and sometimes we would have to take some time to back up and explain why it just hits us as poppycock. Right. At this point, I mean, we can generally say that overall, pretty much everything that's in the mainstream media is at best misrepresented. Some of it's just made up whole cloth. Some of it is a lie or an inversion of the truth. Right. They're hiding the truth from you. But overall, again, we can just kind of take that as an overview. But individually and specifically with each one of these things or circumstances, it behooves you to get better at tearing these things apart for yourself, and not just relying on other people like us to do it. I mean, we're happy to do it because we point it out, but we want you to grow into it, right? And to learn how to do it. But many people start with these things, and they see us do it, right? And they just kind of start shooting from the hip. And there's a downside to that, right? You're going to be wrong more often. And then you get caught into what I call the truther traps, right? Where they throw information out there that is the kind of, again, they throw some half truths out there. They throw a little bit of information so that you go, oh, it's, this. And then, okay, for example, the doctors that appeared in Washington, D.C., they had 40 doctors, and they had that one gal who originally from Africa, right? And she's talking about, about the C-19 thing. So a lot of the truth community got behind it, right? And they said, yeah, she's telling the truth, but she's also confirming that's a real thing and that certain treatments are effective, that sort of stuff. So again, it creates confusion, and this is what I call a truther trap. Right?
Yes.
They throw you some information that you're likely to jump on, and then they can shoot it down real quick and make you look stupid. Right? So this happens rather frequently. And that's why I try to get people to calm down, right? And not make statements of fact, because you don't know, right? I mean, I'm very cautious about the things that I state as fact in almost anything. I can say, this is my experience, this is what I see, and this is the way I do it. But statements of fact, you're setting yourself up, to be shot down.
Yeah.
And there are times when it doesn't bother me so much, especially when people are going after the known enemies, right? When you're going after Hollywood, when you're going after politicians, when you're going after world leaders, you can pretty much assume that all those people are pieces of shit, if they're even people. Right. And so it doesn't bother me so much. But what happens, and this is what really got me the last few days, is that people begin to turn this around and go after people in our community. And certainly there are elements within our community that, if you want to say shills or whatever, but controlled opposition. I mean, one of the easiest ones to point out is Alex Jones, right? He tells, I don't know, I haven't watched him in a long time, but I think everybody here has at one point gone through the Alex Jones phase for a week, maybe longer, right? And
Brian Rose.
Yeah, so I don't know, 2008, 9, something like that. I watched them for 2 or 3 months, something like that. And I would say during that period, again, I can't tell you what it's like now, but during that period, 85, 90% of it was accurate, with some crazy bullshit. Also, some misdirection and misinformation. And I've seen a couple of things come out that were very specifically gatekeeping. Don't look here. That's crazy. Blah, blah. But a vast majority of what he says is actually accurate. But then he acts crazy specifically, so it makes it the whole thing, everything that he says, easy to discredit. Right. So now all that stuff being presented becomes suddenly very easy to discredit because he acts like a crazy person. That's how you can easily tell.
He has his freaking crazy tirades and starts yelling and screaming like.
Exactly. Right. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. So this is the kind of thing that's intentionally designed to, make us look bad. Well, within the community, there are people who do a variety of things. And for some of them, I have a lot of patience, and some people are just mentally ill, frankly. And they get a hair up their ass and they start attacking other people, and they love drama. And so that's the only way they can get any attention. And so they start pointing out other people in the truth community that maybe have a following or people are paying attention to. And so they got to jump up and down and throw accusations at them and just in general, just be a flying douchebag. Again, I don't name names. I don't play this. I'm not going to get into a back and forth with anybody because I don't think that's helpful, and I don't like to give them any attention. But last couple of days, I saw some things that really bent me. I gotta tell you. And so last night I was really very close. I gotta tell you, I'm kind of ashamed. I was close to taking some time this morning to name some names and go, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah. I knew that I would regret it. And so I will hold off, but I will point a couple of things out here, and I'll not give names. I'm just going to point this out, that a person has been around, I suppose, for a while. I mean, I was friends with them on Facebook, until yesterday, not by my choice, but they made accusations against Jason and Rose. And not the first person to do so, but again, for what purpose, right? So what has Jason and Rose done to make you think that they're in any way not who they say they are, right? I mean, is there anything that you can point to? And what has come out really, right, is just stupid, baseless accusations. So here I am using the word baseless classes accusations, but if you have no evidence, right, show your evidence.
Yeah.
And so here one comes out yesterday, and let's see, I don't know how I can do this because I didn't have time to edit it and cross out the names.
I must have missed this. I didn't see anything come out against Jason Rose. You'll have to show me privately.
Yeah, I will, because I mean, I don't know. So this came up yesterday. Let me see. I can show one of them. Let's see if I can find that I can show, because I don't think it has a name on it here. Yes. So I'm bringing this over here and hopefully you guys can see this. So this says, someone messaged Jason and said, "So you and Rose are trannies and in the cult. I should have realized with your Secrets of Saturn name. I'm putting you all on blast." To which Jason had responded, "Oh, did you find Crazy Pants Tony?" Because there's this person, Tony, whose only content is to rant and rave for hours about people in our community. And he's clearly mentally ill, so I don't spend any time on it. I mean, it did kind of piss me off when he called my wife a whore. And he, you don't know my wife. I mean, you like, man, you talk about my wife, I'm gonna get bent. But I also realized that this person is mental. So it upsets Jason, because he goes after Jason and Rose quite a bit, and I understand the desire to want to protect someone that you love from someone who's crazy. But also, again, I'm just like, I don't want to give him any attention. I don't want to give him any of my energy. Truth will always out in the end. And so it doesn't really bother me. So that's who is returning with Crazy Pants Tony. I sincerely hope you're not being serious. Oh, I'm very serious. And he says, I'm confused. And then they blocked him. So they posted on Facebook and said, basically made this accusation, which is, I would say baseless, because I didn't look closely, because that's not how I roll. But at Flattoberfest, I know that Jason and I both peed standing up. So, I mean, again, I don't think that's going to convince that person. So somebody responded to this post, because the original post made the accusation. Jason actually said, "No, that's not true. Why are you doing this?" And they go, "Bullshit," blah, 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 and they just block them. Right. And so another person posted, why are you doing this? And the response was, "Have you ever done a transvestigation before? Start looking at the skull and bones differences of men and women. After you train your eyes, you can't miss them." Well, okay. Yes, I have done, but the part of that word is investigation. You have to actually know what you're doing. And moreover, none of those things, especially that category, right? None of those things are slam dunks. And there are physiological properties of men and women that are pretty generally accepted, but not 100%. I'll tell you this, my wife has 3 or 4 things that we would look for in terms of digit length, in terms of the way her body is made, and her hips and her shoulders and the length of her arms, all things that we would kind of look to. But she is very much female, has given birth. So yeah, Big Mike may be a slam dunk. I mean, that one, but again, these are things that you can't really know. Right, for sure. And again, if you start, it does appear, right, at first I thought it was kind of nuts. And as I started looking into it, I realized that it's very likely that over the last 200 years, many of the people that have been presented to us as sex symbols may very likely have been inverted gender, and many of the people in power. It's very possible, because at first, again, I thought it was nuts, but as I began looking into what they believe, their beliefs, and understanding the way that they approach androgyny, and that's an apotheosis. Right. So I can understand very well how even parents then, if they were given the choice of sacrificing their child's life or turning them into a transgendered person, that either way would be well accepted by those beings that they serve, then it would be a very easy decision for a parent to make, even those who are twisted and psychopathic, to say, I'll save their life, but turn them into this other thing. And that serves the purpose. And I get all the power and stuff that I was promised had I done this thing. So I understand it. And again, in some cases, I would even feel badly for the people who are involved in it because it started at such a young age. That anyway, without getting into all that, there are purposes for this. And again, you guys, in chat, okay, there are people. Again, we look at it and we go, yeah, it seems pretty suspicious, and certainly those. But here again, this is part of that truth trap thing, right? Where people get so into this that they start accusing everybody of it, and they're just not slam dunks. And we just can't. Again, but here's the thing: especially those within your own community. If you don't have the evidence, right? Like, why would you intentionally want to hurt someone? And here's a response to that original poster, right? Saying that I have done transvestigations and you're way off base here. Moreover, these are people within our own community who give generously of themselves, their time, and their resources. You have done exceptionally poorly here. I know both of them fairly well. Neither is engaging in anything but trying to help our community. Clearly, you are not. I don't know what you're smoking, but you need an intervention. Just stop. You're hurting people for no reason other than to stroke your own misguided ego. Just stop. Turn your attention toward those who are the self-identified enemy, not those who you have unfounded and ridiculous ideas about with zero evidence. Besides what? Jason has long hair? I'm immensely disappointed. I strongly suggest you apologize to them both directly and reconsider your methodology. This is the poorest quality of research and the kind of thing that makes everyone look bad. Please stop. Followed immediately by that person being blocked, which is just cowardice, right? You have no evidence other than, I looked at pictures. That doesn't prove anything, even with those who are clearly in the community and are and are openly our enemy. But when it comes to making accusations about people, and again, to me, it has nothing to do with being trans or not. That's not the argument here, right? I know, 2 or 3 people who belong to that group, and they're fine people, generally, right? Sometimes depressed and unhappy overall, but who isn't, right? I certainly was last night. I was very unhappy. And not just from this situation, but other stuff. People had come, after me similarly. And it's like, what the hell? Like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? And, I was so tempted just to go after this person today and just name names and go, but that's just not how I roll. But what I decided, and this is what I did overnight. And I just wanted to say, you know what? I've gotten so many more, really kind, really lovely communications and messages from people. And I just wanted to say, thank you to some people. Mrs. Ronnie, who sent me that beautiful, beautiful Christmas decoration. Thank you. That made our day. Mrs. Baldini was just delighted and she just tittered and stuck it up on the wall right away. Thank you. And Alex, thank you so much for the gift, a beautiful pie and some other goodies. Thank you. Huh?
A pie?
A pie, a shoe fly pie, an Amish shoe fly pie. Shipped it to me.
Wow.
Fucking crazy. And just the wonderful just gifts and letters and kind notes. Kurt, Flattership Bear, again, just super kind, really encouraging notes, and so timely, right at a time when I really needed it. So thank you. I just want to just turn this around and go, I'm not going to focus on that nonsense, because but why do you want to hurt somebody when you don't have evidence, right? And
I don't know. The only thing I can think is that these people are they must be really unhappy with themselves, and there's something about when people get in that space that they feel like they have to put others down to lift themselves back up, and it just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it's complicated, right? It is complicated, and I think what the message that one person got was pretty right on, right? Stroking their own ego. It's just a way for them to push themselves up, as you say, with by having to push other people's down. That's the only way they can do it. But taking on people in their community, right? I mean, yeah, are there people in the community that I have suspicions about? Yeah. Have I ever said anything openly about it? I don't think so. Right? You can go back through all of my streams, and a couple of times I kind of winked and made an inside joke about stuff that they've said, but I've never taken on anybody openly. It's simply not. That's not what I do, and I don't think it's helpful. Right? I don't think it's helpful to get into a back and forth or play this drama game. I think it's bad for all of us. But I do. I think I have to at least remark on it and say that this is these are people, right? We as my wife said yesterday, right, when I indicated to her an exchange that I had with somebody who messaged me begging me for help with something that I don't even know if I could help with. I contacted them. They insisted I give them my phone number. I'm like, well, I'm not comfortable with that, but I'm happy to call you when because I can't just take a call anytime. I have a really crazy schedule. And something of this nature, I would want to focus on and give my attention. And I'm not likely to answer a call from anybody, even those that I know, if it's not scheduled. And then they just started making all kind of accusations. You're hiding something. I'm like, what are you talking about? You came to me. What? Oh dear. And as my wife points out, she just kind of gave my own words back to me, right? Is that anytime you turn on a light in the darkness, you're going to draw some bugs, right? And it happens. And so she's like, whether you like it or not, you've become something of a public figure, and that's just going to happen. I'm like, okay, I get it. Was never my intention. It's not. Again, I don't do this to make a name for myself, because I don't even use my name, right? But I just go, okay, I understand that some people are not well, and I have a lot of grace for that. But some people, that's just bad. When you know that you're hurting people, you know it's causing harm, and you enjoy it. You think that you're causing harm is going to somehow, I'm going to expose those people. Show evidence. If you think you have something, and you think someone's doing harm in the community, get your evidence together first. Right. And it better be slam dunk evidence before you start doing that. Otherwise, let people make up their own minds. That's what discernment is all about. That's why we do this here, right? Is to show you what it looks like. And so this is how we see it. You do your own research and see what you come to. And admittedly, we shoot from the hip sometimes. And sometimes we're going to be wrong when we do that. But we've got experience doing it because we've gone through all of the steps, right? Not just went, oh, poppycock, right? We've actually gone through the steps and tracked it all the way down to the end and gone, yep, confirmation poppycock. And then once you kind of get used to that and you understand how it works, then you are better at making some of those shoot from the hip things. And you just get, more adept at it. But you're going to still make mistakes, right? And so you still kind of at least I am still fairly cautious about what I claim to be absolute statements of fact and speculation. So, but when we're talking about people in the community, man, I have very, 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 very little respect, as in none, for people who would knowingly harm someone else. For any reason, even if it were true, even if what you thought were true, what gives you the right to intentionally harm other people, knowing that you're doing so? Right? I don't go harm people in power that I know are harming others. I would love to. I'd love to throat punch them. Right? I have my moments for sure, but it doesn't help. And Karen's eye rolling at me. I can see in the chat.
No, I'm not eye rolling at you. I'm eye rolling at someone in the chat who's being ridiculous. I'm not even going to say who because it's obvious. Everybody can see it.
I wasn't watching the chat. I'm sorry.
I have both the chat windows from both streams open, and I don't know whose chat is who, but I'm assuming the one I'm looking at is Rose's chat.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm on I guess so. The one in the chat window on StreamYard is going to be Rose's chat. There's also Unintended Consequences chat, and there's also DLive. So I don't know where. I don't know who's doing what, but
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I just don't have. I don't have a lot of respect for that. I mean, again, apparently, you don't care what I think either. That's fine. We have a mutual agreement there. But I just, man, I mean, I really wanted to kind of avoid this. I was pretty dead set last night that I was gonna I was gonna out some people, but I'm not gonna get in
themselves. These people out themselves.
They do exactly. I'm not gonna get in the mud with them. It just
and I know it gets really upsetting, and I've found myself on the verge of like hitting that go live button and just ripping into people, but it doesn't, then it just kind of gets you into that back and forth, and the best thing to do that I have found is to just cut those people out of your peripherals, unsubscribe, block, turn it off. I just cut that stuff out of my peripheral and I move on, and I let other things into my space that are positive, that serve me, that help me to grow in a positive way. And I just cut that shit out. And once I started doing that, like on a regular basis, it just changed everything. It changed how I was able to operate in this movement, whatever it is we're doing. It's just so much better to just cut that stuff out of your peripheral. Don't let that negative energy pollute your space anymore. They just be gone. If that's how you're going to behave, I'm just going to turn my back, and that's it. Bye.
Yeah, and I see someone in the chat now and just go, you know what? If you're looking to be offended, you'll always find something to be offended about, right? Irrespective of whether that was meant in the way that you think it was or not. If you're looking to be offended, you'll be offended by anything, anybody. And for those of you who missed it, the entire point that I was making had nothing to do with people's choices in their lives. In terms of that, right? Has everything to do with their behavior toward others. And if you're going to begin behaving like that toward others, you just outed yourself as being a complete piece of shit. Sorry, I'm gonna say that. If you're looking to be offended and you've got your little trap open and you're just waiting for somebody to say something so you can slam them and I'm sorry, fuck you, because you're not a good person. Right? If you want to be a good person, show love, right? And give grace, even and especially if they've done something to offend you, right? You're not welcome in my community, right? So I don't care what you wear. I don't care what you even believe, but I do care about how you treat other people. And you're gonna. Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that. No, I'm not. My wife would say not.
This is it. She's revealing herself. I mean, you're revealing yourself to be what you are. Nobody ever insulted you. You went around saying that I insulted you. I did not. I never said anything insulting about you or even trans people in general. But if anybody even says the word trans, immediately they're a trans basher and they're, a gay, whatever you want to say they are. They're insulting you just by saying the word trans. Whatever. Go be a snowflake somewhere else. I'm over it. I'm not going to censor myself for somebody just to save your feelings because you have some hang up about it. Sorry, not going to do it.
Yeah, not my issue. Not my issue. So anyway, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm just going to say, guys, be good to one another is my encouragement. And I'm going to spend the rest of the time today saying thank you so much to Jenny. Hey, thank you for making me feel better when I was down. Thank you to Dawn for all the chats that we've had, and again, lifting me up. And even when you're down, Sue Finelli, again, all the chats that we've had, and even coming to me when you're desperate and don't know what to do. Thank you for the trust that you put in me. I appreciate it. I appreciate pretty much everybody, here who has been so encouraging and so, again, accepting of the things that we do and understanding, again, our need for sometimes, privacy. And at times when, we all need a little encouragement from time to time. And so I just really want you to know that how much that I appreciate the kind words, and I appreciate you being here regularly, constantly, right? And it's beautiful to show up and see so many people come in and just be kind. And I love that. So, thanks, Dave. I appreciate that too. And so, in any case, sweetie, I'll just go that way and go, yes, I love you, Dave. You're a beautiful man. I have nothing. Bad to say about anybody who looks for love anywhere they can get it. That's not what this is about. This is because I'm all about positive intention and love. And if that's if that's your thing, man, get on it. Right. I do find it a little strange that people choose that as their primary identifying point. Right. It's like, really, like, what that makes you who you are is what you choose to do in the bedroom. That just seems weird to me. But because that's not, what I choose.
Right.
How I choose to identify myself is by any of that. I do some pretty crazy stuff under the sheets, man. I admit it. I ain't no shame in my game. I'm very adventurous. But that's not how I identify myself, right? I try to identify myself as being a person who cares about others and tries to be thoughtful and mindful and learn things. Thanks, Voynich. I appreciate that. But, you've given us too much information at time too. So we're all in this together, right? As long as we choose to be. So, I don't have the fuck the fucking fucker stickers yet. I need to work on that for sure. That's why I'm trying to change my schedule so I can be more available for this community. In any case, I just wanted to call a few people out for the positive, right? And instead of calling people out for the negative, instead do the positive and say thank you so much for being just salt of the other people, right? Really quality people, the type of folks that I want to hang out with. And this is exactly the reason that I began my channel, right? Was all the responses that I got from the Awakening Project and went, man, these are people of quality. And these are the kind of folks that I want to spend time with. And so the same is true with the idea of congregational living. These are the kind of people that I want. And not people who are going to be offended at every little thing. Anybody that uses the word microaggression, you're out. Yeah, that's not gonna work. So in that. So again, I apologize. We got a little astray this morning, but it's something that I felt. Again, I was going to address entirely this morning. Just really rip some people a new one, and I just like that's not who I am, right? But it does get to me because I hate to see people that I care about being wounded by others for no reason. I mean, words, they say, sticks and stones can break your bones, but words can hurt, right? And especially when you put in an enormous amount of effort to try to help the community, as Jason and Rose had.
Yeah.
And to see the kind of nonsense that gets tossed at them for what? For what? Right? What have they ever said that made you think that they were not legitimate and transparent and honest? I mean, I don't agree with either of them on numerous things. I don't think they even 100% agree with each other on some stuff, right? My wife and I don't on everything, right? But we respect one another and we love one another. And so we can choose to see things differently without having to think that the other person is wrong. But when I see people that I care about being unfairly attacked, right? That really rankles me, and I'm ridiculously loyal to people, and again, I wouldn't care if Rose and Jason were trans, right? That doesn't matter to me. But attacking them as being, part of a death cult and something that, again, you're making accusations that have no basis in fact, and you're intentionally trying to harm them, and that's the part I have a problem with, right? Is the intention of harm to others. I can't abide it, and it's going to get. So if you want to cross me, that's how you can do it, right? Is anger is a powerful motivation to correct a perceived injustice, and so that'll make me angry, right? I try to be angry and sin not, right? I don't try. It's not my way to try to attack people, but I don't take well to people unfairly attacking others for no reason, especially to puff themselves up or to stroke their own pathetic little ego. It's not good optics, I'll tell you that. Anyway, I apologize for getting off track this morning. It's not really where I had intended to go. In fact, I had intended to stay well clear of it once I slept on the matter. And again, I do want to express gratitude to my wife and to Dawn and Jenny specifically for talking me off a ledge, because I was pretty rankled yesterday. And there was all sorts of stuff going on, right? I was very, very upset with a variety of situations, but this is why I think that we're here in relationship with one another, is that I can trust folks to, give me their honest opinion on things, and whether or not I agree with it, it's still, I know that this is their honest opinion. And so I appreciate that. And as I appreciate each of you. I even appreciate, what Rachel has brought, the positive things to the community, but I'm not good with throwing accusations at people and saying, "Oh, you're gay," because I mean, what does that even mean? Why should that even be offensive to me? Right? That's silly. That's a
my 11-year-old boy says stuff like that, so I don't know.
I know. It's like, what are we, 5? I mean, come on, right? It's like, that doesn't even make sense to me. Anyway, without unnecessarily flogging a mortality challenged Equine American. Thank you, Effie Viking. I appreciate that. It's like, oh dear, you guys. I don't know, man. You guys take some weird corners sometimes. It's like, are you missing the point? Yes, apparently. So I guess this has been educational for me as well, to to understand who is what and where they come from, and their reading and listening comprehension. I guess I've been well educated this morning. So thanks for that. Karen, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I can't wait to see you again. Give you a big, huge hug, because that's how we do. And I got nothing bad to say about you. I sincerely apologize for going in a direction I did not intend to go. But I think some things need to be said sometimes. It's just be good to one another, right? That's what we need more of, and that's the problem. I think in the world around us, and that's what they're again trying to amplify everything and turn up the polarity so that we all attack one another. And it certainly seems to be, to some degree, working in our community where people want to attack one another, and it's it prevents us from banding together and focusing our attention on them. So I don't have much else to say on that. I intend to be back. Hopefully, Rose will be into it. She may not for a minute. Lots of stuff going on there, but
just let me know. I'm happy to be on here if you need me.
Thursday is Christmas, so if you're willing, I'm willing to do a Christmas morning show, and just to again hang out with people and give us a place to congregate, because I am all down with that. So a call in, perhaps, that seems like maybe a good idea. Oh yeah, that's right. It's Thursday's Christmas Eve, so we got that going.
Yeah.
All right.
That's cool.
Yeah. So if you want to join, I'll just take you up on it now, and then if Rose makes it back, I'm sure that she won't kick you out.
Oh, if she comes back, totally kick me out. That's cool.
No, we won't do that. But I love you and Ted. Ted has been so kind and so friendly and so welcoming. Again, so many in this community have, and so you guys, if you think that makes me gay, okay, okay, that's a weird jump, right? But anyway, anyway, with that. Again, I just encourage people, be kind to one another, right? Do your best to understand the situation that other people are in, right? Like even the guy that came after me yesterday. Again, I understand that probably, again, he's not mentally well. He's desperate, and so I just don't know what's going on in the world. But I'm happy to be here. I'll tell you that. And I'm delighted to be have gotten to know you, Karen, and Ted, and the Nodells, and a whole bunch of other people in this community. Has been just delightful for me. And so I'll be here as long as you guys will let me. And yeah, we'll have a gay old time. There you go.
You can be here as long as you want, as far as I'm concerned.
Right on. I appreciate that. So I will be, and I'll hopefully I'll be able to make it out to that neck of the woods soon. We'll see how that goes. With that, thanks everybody, and I will. Just a little unusual, but for this thing, but I usually end up with some music at the end, so I'm just going to drop off another play out of the Poppycock theme, so you guys can congregate and chat on your way out. Again, Karen, thank you so much, and again, my apologies if I stepped on anybody's toes unintentionally. That's unintended consequences of that, but I did just want to say thank you to people, and I genuinely have affection for most of you.
Hey, can I close it on a
Yes.
Elvis quote from a song?
Absolutely.
Every morning and gay every day. Come on, it's good stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't mind a little gayness. That's good. Dear. Again, I have no issue with what people do between the sheets. Some of it's actually rather interesting. You know what I mean? It's like that's not the issue. The issue is how we treat each other. And so there you go. And with that, have a lovely Poppycock day, and we will see you again soon. Take care, everybody.
1, 2, 3. Cocks don't pop at all, poppycock cocks do poppy by 4. And that's why all the folks on poppycock keep poppycocks in a jar. But once I met a girl on poppycock back in the poppycock hills, they won't let me back on poppycock, reckon they never will. Well, poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old poppycock, poppycock, you and me, Rose and Bobby. The earth don't spin at all on poppycock, flatter than a hot roadkill. The beer don't stick to balls on poppycock, reckon it never will. Once I met two folks on poppycock, one ball, the other likes cats. She wild as a rosy, quicker than a satellite, no poppycock about that. Well, poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old poppycock, poppycock, you and me, Rose and Bobby me. Take a trade. Sheep don't like to block on poppycock, ain't no poppycock pins. You might just find yourself on poppycock, waking with a poppycock kin. And poppycock, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old poppycock, poppycock, you and me, Rose and Bobby me. Why so freaking early? Poppycock, you and me.